Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I picked up a new car this week, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I've dropped it off at Crevia BMW, and they gave me this 430i. If you're not familiar with the 430i, well, this is it. This is a convertible one, and it's pretty cool, I guess. There are certain things I do like about it, and lots of things I don't. And I've only had it for half a day. But I'm just going to give you my impressions because I'm going to go return it in just a little bit. My car is ready to pick up. First thing I'll tell you that I just do not like what BMW is doing. And I don't like what Mercedes does either. They're using this freaking M badge on everything. This is not an M car. Look, it's got that one right there. And I think back here, yeah, maybe not back here. That's good at least. But like, you know, M badging here, and there's a few other ones. I don't know where they are now. Another thing I do like is this headlight looks really cool. Check that out. But I don't like is all of these little vents or whatever. These are all fake. They don't do anything. There's one back here. It doesn't do anything. It's got dual tailpipes or whatever, exhaust pipes, and this is a 255 horsepower or 295, I don't remember. 255 and 295 are the horsepower and torque numbers. I just don't remember which one's which. And then also this rear diffuser that doesn't do anything. It's just part of the rear of the bumper. But other than that, I guess it's pretty cool. What I do like about it is the interior is actually pretty nice. I like these two-tone leather seats or pleather. I don't know what kind of fake leather this is, but it's nice. It's pretty nice. It's got really good support actually. I do like this interior. This material here, it's just like a plastic, but it's covered with whatever this wrapping is. It's kind of cool. Ambient lighting here, let's turn on the car. Not a fan of this whole situation. So this ambient lighting does shine down here on this like patterned stuff. Looks pretty cool. And let's see if we can get the display to come on. This I love. I think this is super cool. These are two separate screens with like a total dead zone in the middle. But what's really cool is that they kind of make it look like one big cohesive screen. And I do love that. And then the pièce de résistance, the freaking huge Apple CarPlay. Oh, I wish I could have this in my Rivian. And I kind of have something like this in the new car, but not quite as modern as this. This is really, really cool. I just love having this gigantic screen. What I don't love is this, what I'm about to show you. They've done... BMW, what have you been up to? You get something so right, okay, like the size of the screen and the layout of it is very nice. And then what you do is you put this out here. Look at this nightmare. This is just like you took every app I had in Apple CarPlay and then you made another icon for it out here. And then you added a bunch of other icons for things that don't have any place here together just so you can give me 70 different icons. How does that make any sense? Why would you do this? These are already in Apple CarPlay. Don't also put them here. And then if I want to find some car setting, like this is how many, what is that? 12 plus, there's 20 icons for my BMW settings. Come on. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes that. But whatever. I'll forgive all of this because of how good this CarPlay experience is. I love just having this massive space for my CarPlay. I think that's really cool. I'm sure you guys are going to comment on how many unread messages I've got here. I just do, I guess. And I think you can swipe down from the top. You can add widgets here, but the widgets are pretty weak. One thing I did notice is, BMWs have always been kind of notorious for doing this thing with like a split of hot and cold air on the vent. You BMW guys know what the hell I'm talking about, so don't look at me weird. You know what I'm talking. It doesn't seem to be in this car anymore, which is weird. I think they've gotten rid of that in this latest generation of their cars. The main screen here, it doesn't do a whole lot. You can click this little option thing, and then you can change the content of the layout, and then so here's the layout. You can change that. Okay, and then you can change the content where you can put like, you know, route previews and map and G-meter and media. So those are the kinds of things you can do, but we'll leave it at this. And there's a decent heads-up display where you can see it right there. You can do some things with it. Nothing awesome, just you can do things with it. But it's fine. It's fine. Just very quickly, again, this is a convertible. It's got all the basic BMW gear here that you would expect, plus this button here for putting the top down. So let's go ahead and do that and see what it looks like. It's very quick. I think like less than 15 seconds or something like that. So let's see what that's like. Yeah, done. Very fast top down experience. And we've turned the car on, so I'm just gonna step outside here and show you what it looks like with the top off. It's a pretty decent looking car for the most part. I don't think this color does it any justice, you know. Big M badge on the calipers, pretty big size rotor there, big brakes. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to kind of mention. Look at the size of the steering wheel. Look how big that is. It's a huge steering wheel. I don't know if it comes across how big this is, but it's big. I don't get that either. Not a ton of room in the back seats. In fact, very little room in the back seats. I don't think a full-size adult could sit back here comfortably. I have to first move this forward and get back here. And actually, you know what? It's not too bad, but I bet, okay, now it's come down. Let's put the top back up from here. Okay, actually, it's really not that bad. It's really not too bad. So that's the good news. I don't know how much room that front person has, but it doesn't look too cramped, and it's certainly not too cramped for me back here. Certainly way more than like a Porsche 911 or something like that. Yeah, so here we are. I mean, my knees are hitting the back of this seat, but I can sit like that and it's fine. It is 4-passenger. You can't sit in the middle here, and there's a set of cup holders. A decent amount of room for what it is, and with the top down you can certainly get in and out quite easily, but with the top up I bet that experience would be a little less comfortable. Okay, so that is my review. Not review, but just a walk around. We'll call it a walk around. I didn't really enjoy driving this car very much so far. It's very, very underpowered. It does try very hard. Okay, it tries very hard to not be underpowered. But really, at the end of the day, for the kind of look it is, like it has and whatnot, and what it costs, I think it could use another 80 to 100 horsepower, I think, is really what it needs to kind of be a contender. Okay, I do want to update a couple of things I said in the video earlier about the sound system and about the amount of power this car has. I gotta say, when you do push it, it actually does perform quite well for a 4-cylinder. Here we go, like, it's pretty fast. I mean, it's fast enough. I'll take that back. I'll take back what I said earlier about the power. It's actually quite good. It feels more like a 6-cylinder. It's just like it sounds like a 4-cylinder, probably is what it is. It does have quite a bit of power. It's actually pretty impressive what they can squeeze out of 4. Then the other thing I want to talk about is I said I wasn't impressed with the sound, and I think I was just using a bad input or whatever. Holy cow, this car actually, this must have probably an upgraded stereo. I'm not sure. This is the Harman Kardon. I don't know if there's multiple levels of that, but it actually is a very, very impressive amount of sound. The bass is very full, and it feels like an aftermarket system. I mean, it's like extremely powerful. So those are my 2 caveats. I do want to correct those. It's pretty good. It's pretty good overall, pretty good. Maybe my only problems with it is just some of the UI and all the M badging, and the looks aren't my cup of tea, but I think people like this look, the front grille and whatnot. So I'll leave it at that. I am actually quite impressed by the sound, and the amount of power is really, it feels way more than 200 and some odd horsepower. It feels more like 300 and some odd horsepower. Maybe it feels more like 320 horsepower is what I want to say. So that's pretty good. All right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys. But yeah, this is it. Let me know what you guys think of this car. Do you have one? Do you like it? Is this your favorite thing? And it's nice. I think if you want a convertible, this could be a pretty decent choice. But I didn't really get, like, not super impressed by it. The only thing I do love is that gigantic CarPlay experience. Very cool, BMW. You definitely nailed that. All right, guys, leave your comments below. Love to hear what you think of the 430i. And thanks again to BMW Crevier BMW for loaning me this car while my new to me car is they're just catching up on some service. Should I give you guys some hints on what that car is? It is, oh gosh. Let me just put it this way. The production numbers on that car, I think, are 1,500 or so cars per year. I think that should give it away. That's a really good hint. It's something I've been wanting for a while, and the opportunity came up, so I picked it up locally, and it's been fun. I'll post a video on it soon, hopefully, and talk to you guys or see you guys on the next video.